Hello my dotting family and welcome to my channel. Come and join me on this magical journey through the world of dot art and bunnies and eggs for Easter. My name is Zelda and I'm from the fairy realm, and we're going to make a canvas for Easter. So what I want you to do is I want you to prep your canvas with a 15 section design. The video that I will link up here is going to prep it differently, so in different sections, but I want you to prep it for 15 equal sections. So when you're done, just to double check, just count your sections to make sure that you have 15. Else a lot of the things that we're going to be doing is not going to work out for you. Then for my color palette, I saw that they usually use a lot of pastel colors for Easter. So what I've done is, for my color 1, I've got Nachi. For my color 2, I've got Baby Pink. Color 3 is Lavender. Color 4 is Clear Blue. And then color 5 is Sage Green. What I've also added to this palette, which we're going to bring in, is just plain white. So I'll just refer to white as white, and the other ones as color 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So feel free to change those colors as you see fit. I'm just going with those ones because that's a color palette that I chose. And then of course you always need your black or your background paint on hand, which we're also going to be using on the design itself. So we're going to be starting off with our center dot, 13 mil, and we're going to do that in white. Get it as nice and center as you possibly can. So with my 3 biggest balls, going from large to small, right, I'm going to be using the third one. Okay, so the center one, if you had to put all of them next to each other. So for me, that is my white tool. You could have a different color, but this is the one you're going to be using. And then we're going to start off with color number 1. You only need a tiny amount for tools this small, because we don't use that much paint with these little tools. Now what you're going to do is you're going to make the dot as close to your center dot as possible. Okay, so you're going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4 lines and then make another dot. Again, skip 1, 2, 3, 4 open lines, and you're going to make one. So you should end up with 3 dots. So 1, 2, 3, 4 open lines. Now we're going to move on to color number 2. So these ones are just going next to color number 1 dots, going clockwise. So in other words, from here to there. From here to there. So a left-handed person told me the other day that they can't do clockwise or anti-clockwise. So for those who are not sure, you're going to go just to the right of the dot. So if you had to turn your canvas, it would also just be to the right of color 1, and the same thing, you're just to the right of color 1, so going that way. Then we're moving on to color number 3. Again, the same thing, so just clockwise or to the right of your previous color on the straight line, as close to your center dot as you can possibly get it. Color number 4, same thing. And then lastly, color number 5. So if you have made a mistake, you'll probably know that by now because all of them need to fit in like so. Now what I want to do is we are going to create a spiral. We're going to exactly like repeat the process, except now instead of going on the straight lines, we're going in between the straight lines. So again, just jumping clockwise. So where color 1 is there, I'm just going to put it over there. Same thing here, in between the straight lines, as close to those dots as I can possibly get into that little gap between them. And the same thing on that side. Moving on to color number 2. So just in between those straight lines, like so. Color number 3. So it should look something like this. So you can kind of see that they all are following in that direction. They are almost starting to spin in that direction. So just follow the colors. Make sure that your colors are following each other. All right, so the center one is the start, and then from there they start going out. Then I'm going to jump to the 5mm tool, and we're going to continue this process. So now we're just basically going to jump back onto the straight lines. So where my orange or my color 1 is between the straight lines there, here I'm jumping back onto the straight line, and then here again. And the same thing on this side, like that. And then I'm just going to repeat this with the remainder of all of the colors. So color 2 is always next to color 1. So they always follow each other. So color 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you're going to remember it like that, it should make your life quite easy. Next, I'm going to jump to the 7mm tool, and we're going to do another one in between the straight lines. Just continuing exactly the same process. Here, because we have 3 in a row now, you'll start to see the spiral actually forming. So don't think in the version of a spiral. So in other words, don't think spiral, just stick to your lines and stick in between the lines, because a lot of people see, oh, there's a spiral, and then they just put the dot without actually looking at the structure lines, and the structure lines are there to keep everything nice and structured. So please just stick to the structure lines. Okay, just do in between. So these are going to be as in between the straight lines as you can possibly get them, and we're going to do all of the colors again. Then we're going to do our last row in the 9mm tool again. So now we're going to jump back onto the straight lines. Okay, so what you guys will also notice is that the bigger the dots get, the more paint you actually need to add to your palette in order to complete that. So this completes the spiral. So the first part of this video is done. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me on this magical journey. Come back again for part 2 and the next ones so we can finish this design. I will see you guys again next time. Stay dotty, stay magical, keep well. Bye-bye.
Every single day